Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet, with episode 110 of Splinterlands 101. Joining me on the show tonight, co-host, finest gentleman who ever lived, Matt Clark.
Howdy, howdy. Rockin', representing.
Repping the SPL, yeah.
Yep.
No sign of Geo yet. Hopefully he'll hop on it at some point. And gives us a chance, I guess, to talk a little bit about what's going on. I've been a little bit transient lately, flying from Bogota. Well, firstly, where I was at with Eco, 6-hour bus ride on bumpy roads in a little minibus. Nothing like a 6-hour ride on a minibus to remind you what your butt cheeks, your left cheek, then move to the right cheek and sit back, sit forward, left cheek, right cheek. And then after arriving at the airport in Colombia, at Bogota, El Dorado, it was like 4.5 hours, I think, to Mexico City. And it was a bit of a rush at Mexico because like there was an hour and a half between arriving in Mexico City and my flight to Guadalajara. And at Mexico, because Mexico City was the first point of contact for that country, that's where I had to clear customs, get all my baggage checked, and every step of the way, like massive queues. And I just look around, find someone with a jacket, walk up and I show them my boarding pass and they just take me straight to the front of the line, get through. So that was pretty good. And when I got to the customs section, the guy was like, what's your purpose in Mexico? Because I had everything, like stories lined up ready for why I needed 6 months, not 180 days or 1 day. And so what's the purpose of your stay in Mexico? I says, just visiting friends. Says, oh, yeah. Goes, oh, Australia. Bang, hand it over, 6 months. Yeah. So yeah, no questions asked. It was quite easy to do.
Now, don't you ruin that reputation for us while you're over there, all right? Be on your best behaviour, young man. Because if I ever go to Mexico, I don't want that same guy to go, oh, Australian. Let me look at the fine print here, because I remember letting Bob through. All right, cool.
But after getting all my luggage checked through at Mexico City, once you get into the international boarding section, so I'm now going into the boarding section to the boarding gates for my flight to Guadalajara, and you've got to get all your baggage checked again at that check-in point. I stopped the conveyor belt at where my backpack was in there, and everyone on the other side all came over. They're all looking, and they're looking at me, and they're looking, and next we've got 3 members of the Navy, La Marina, in their fatigues. They came over and they're looking, and then the guy says, "Esta tu mochila? Is this your backpack?" It's like, yeah. It says, "Do you have something in there that's like bullet shaped?" And it's like, on the keychain, so it's on the outside, it's actually attached to the zipper on the outside of my bag. It's a 9mm bullet, but the cartridge casing is hot. It's like I've got a hole drilled through it for the keyring, and it's been there for like 30 years. All right, so as far as effectiveness as a bullet goes, it's not like, but no, they said, no, you can't read it. And then so they took it off me. So I've had it for 30 years, this 9mm drilled out bullet on my keychain. And then one of the officers there, because I remember watching back like with Narcos Mexico, and that like the Navy plays a bigger role in that stuff than like the Navy in Australia, because I think corruption in the federal police, which they don't have the Federales anymore, they now have the Guardia Nacionales. The president AMLO decided like it was too corrupt, so he changed the whole thing. And now they only spend a little bit of time in each place. They're constantly moving around, so they can't be established in one town for corruption to set in. So yeah, this Navy officer, she was interviewing me for a couple of minutes. She took photos of my passport, but then they let me go, and had like 10 minutes, like 10 minutes left on the boarding. And of course, the gate at Mexico City where I was boarding, it was gate 70, right? So it's like the furthest gate away from where you check your stuff. So I had to rush to get to the gate. I was probably one of the last 5 people on the aeroplane. But yeah, made it here to Guadalajara. Check-in at my Airbnb went quite smoothly. Today's actually my last, or tonight will be my last night at this Airbnb. And the house that I'm moving into for 6 months isn't available until the 19th. So moving to another Airbnb tomorrow for 1 week, which is a little like bad. Like this place is literally just a room. I don't even have a fridge. Like there's one room with nothing in it except a bed and a table and chair and a shared bathroom. That's it. So where I'm moving to for 1 week, it's a house where various rooms are rented out, so there's shared space. But yeah, I've spent a bit of time with Kurt. We've gone out, we've had a couple of meals. He's showing me around some of the Tartarian architecture in Guadalajara central town area. Yeah, it's been quite effective. We've been to a shop and I have purchased a can of cool drink which contains THC and CBD oils. Like just walking into a shop and just looking at all this stuff going, why don't we have this in Australia? You know.
And, the thing is, legalizing all that stuff will do more to disempower the cartels and the like than anything else that you could do. If you just say no, we're just going to let people do it, and then even if they just tax it a reasonable amount, just a small amount. In Australia, it's just ridiculous. They've got the vapes are banned, so there's a massive black market in vapes. Cigarettes have a massive tax markup on them, like huge, like 3/4 of what you pay when you buy a packet of cigarettes is the cost of all the taxes and levies and excises and the like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge windfall for the Australian government. But to actually grow your own tobacco, chop, whatever, that makes it so much more worthwhile for people who are, hooked smokers.
Yeah,
To go, well, I'm just going to find a source
people
of
will
chop
take
chop.
a risk that wouldn't normally take a risk because of the cost savings involved.
Exactly. Yeah. And then instead of paying the local shopkeeper your money, you're paying the local drug dealer or underground figure your money. And so all you're doing by prohibiting and jacking up these taxes is empowering these horrific cartels who are doing the horrible things. They're turf wars and drive-bys and all of that type of thing. That happens when you've got these prohibitions going on. It's Al Capone and all the gangsters. They were just regular dudes until alcohol prohibition came in, and then that problem went away when prohibition went away. So it's like you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
You're creating these problems by clamping, and it's just vices anyway. Like somebody wants to smoke a cigarette, they're their lungs, right? It's your lungs.
Yeah.
Your dollar, your lungs. No, it can't be ignorance. It has to be malice, right?
Yeah.
At this level, at this point, it has to be that. So it's great because if you can go into a shop in Mexico and just go, well, I'm going to get stoned off this drink, well then you don't have to worry about the guy around the corner who's growing weed and the federales are coming after him and all the bloodshed and all of that drama. Like it makes for good TV, but not a good way to live your life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so
we've had 3 in Melbourne where you left from. There's been 3 recent firebomb attacks on tobacconists, on actual cigarette shops. Now, I'm not sure what's going on there, whether it's guys selling vapes trying to muscle out the competition, or whether it's I think maybe it's the guys with an underground hookup, right, wanting to slide their supply into the official, right? So if you're a tobacconist and some guy comes along and says, hey, I've got some black market stuff, I want you to move through your shop, I'll pay you handsomely, we'll cook the books together, and then you're basically going to make a lot of money. And he says no thanks. Well, then you get firebombed as an example to other people to say, okay, well, I mean, imagine being the 4th tobacconist on that street and the previous 3 have all been firebombed. And the guy walks in and says, so it might be in your interest to cooperate with us. What are you going to do, right? And
Do you
all of
know?
this behaviour is because of the prohibition, or in this case, because of the massive high excise.
Yeah. Well, when I
It's
went,
just, go on.
I went to like WA for 3 weeks to visit Mum before leaving Australia, and vapes were already illegal in WA. And of course, then it went national on January the 1st. So it's just, but we know, like, what governments actually are. So it's only what's going on is only confusing if you don't understand what governments actually are. So
Yeah, but confusion is an opportunity to learn and grow and maybe understand who we're dealing with now. So we all at some point were asleep, and there's people that I think there are Goliaths of our movement who are still asleep right now. When they wake up, they go, okay, no, this is serious. Let's actually do something. I don't
yeah,
know. The biggest hero of our movement might actually still right now be injecting his 7th booster and nodding and smiling at policemen, and who knows, right? You don't know what the future holds.
yeah, yeah. But the more people that just wake up and realize that governments are nothing more than criminal cabals, um, profiteering off of despair and
Mm,
whatever, then we won't have to deal with that. You know?
yeah.
Non-conformity, non-conformity. Let's move.
I've been thinking too recently about what services does a country provide that an alternate country couldn't, an alternate framework not provide. And I guess this is a bigger thought piece, but I'm thinking, say for example, Club Med, right? Now I don't know if they're still operating, but the idea was you go to the resort, you just pay for your stay, and everything's covered, everything's taken care of. Which is kind of like the premise of a government where you're taxed, but then if you need something, it is available. If you need food, then you can get some welfare and go and buy some food, or whatever. So it's like your basic needs are all met. Obviously, Club Med's operating at a higher level of luxury there.
Yeah,
But I thought, what if Club Med was to still be operating? And I haven't looked into this at all, but if they were still operating and they had resorts all around the world, could you be a citizen of Club Med where you effectively vanish off other countries' radar, where you're not, that nobody knows where you're living because Club Med is putting you up in Spain and then in Morocco and then in wherever. If you catch Club Med flights, no one knows except Club Med where you are, right? So, and you pay your taxes to Club Med, you use internal currency for whatever transactions need to be, you use Club Med dollars and tokens and the like. And so they've got small resorts all around the world, but they're not actually own large tracts of land like a traditional government. I'm thinking, does that make sense after a while? Like looking at seasteading and the people who live on cruise ships now. Every now and then you see a news story about the retired couple who crunched the numbers and went, well, we can live in a 4 by 5 meter retirement home and stare at the same 4 walls and one watercolor of daisies, and look at the little section of lawn backyard that we have in the flowers, or for the same cost, which is massive cost, we could go and book ourselves 3 years worth of cruises, and we're just going to go cruising all around the world, back to back to back to back.
yeah,
And it makes financial sense because out on the open seas, you don't have all of the costs and all of the. So the more government becomes a drag on people, the more it becomes a drag on their money, their time, what they can do. Like you said with THC, the elderly folks might say, well, here in Australia, yes, you can get medical marijuana, but you've got to pay through the nose. You need doctor's appointments and scripts and all of that stuff. And then you still can't drive and whatever else. Well, now I can get on a cruise ship and out on the high seas, nobody cares. If I get stuff from, we go and stop off in Mexico, stop off in Colombia, I can do whatever's legal wherever I'm going. Right, so all of those restrictions and rules and costs and excises and pick up a packet of cigarettes for bugger all, right? All of that stuff goes away when you're out on the high seas. And so it's got me thinking, and a lot of the seasteaders make these point. Joe Quirk has done some really, really good talks recently that I've just loved, where he's talked about this and said, look, the captain of the cruise ship is essentially a dictator, right? Now he's limited in what he can do because the crew and the customers can go to a different cruise ship. but he's essentially completely a dictator on the high seas, and
Yeah.
what he said goes. But because he's got that incentive to keep his crew and his customers happy, then that's just what he does. And so the more governments become a problem and the more we can escape them by going out on the water, the more popular that's going to be. And it really has me thinking, well, if P&O were to start offering other services where you go and, go and vanish for a little while, where they say, well, we're going to look after you for the next 3 years, and no one knows, no government knows where you are. You're
Yeah.
just gone for 3 years, right? And I'm thinking that wouldn't have to be popular for long before it just got bigger and bigger, and eventually this whole idea of a geographically based governments just becomes kind of null and void. When you look at you mentioned you're on Cambly, where you talk to people who are learning English over the internet. Now you've kept your same clients, you've kept your same employer, and you've moved to the opposite side of the planet. Well, that's huge. That was unheard of 20, 30 years ago.
Couldn't have been done
Impossible.
20, 30 years ago. Yeah.
How could that even be? Right? There's no, it's night and day. So really what we've done is technology has given us a borderless world, and we just need to adapt and adjust and recognize that that's already the case. And whatever's inefficient, which is territorial-based governments, well, that's going to go away because it is inefficient. And when we've got a choice, we're going to embrace the efficiency of things like seasteading, like living on a cruise ship for several years or indefinitely. And that'll get better and better. That option will get better and better as more people choose it, right? And it'll become less and less brave and scary to do all that stuff because more people have done it before you. So I think we've got a bright future. I've been doing it for a while. Just survive the next 5 years, and the future is going to be great. Just surviving the next 5 years, right?
Well, even like in regards to services, even as little back as the 70s, in Australia, electricity, gas, public transport, postal service, they were all parts of the government services. So like I said, you pay your taxes, and it was all cheap. And then they introduced, bit by bit privatization, and how good privatization is. And the consumer always wins with privatization. And of course, everything skyrockets, goes up. Well, the government just removed themselves essentially one step out of necessity. Well, why do we need the government now then? But still, since it just grows and grows and grows, it's parasitic. And now, especially like pretty much, well, any government that's supporting Israel at the moment is essentially a terrorist organization. So they've put themselves out of if you run a good reason now not to pay your tax, well, legally, you can't support a terrorist group. And while the government is a terrorist organization, you can say, well, I cannot in good conscience, and I don't want to break the law by paying money to a body that's using my money to slaughter, to commit genocide, so as war crimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, it's going a little bit dark, but I've had a lot of fellow Christians that I've grown up with, and I've said to them, look, I know that you adore the government, right? I get that, and you think the whole thing is going to collapse without it. But I said, we, a lot of people vary on this, but I said, we as sort of Christians, we believe that a baby is a human being and that abortion is murdering a baby. So when you look at a policeman and you're like, oh, he's keeping chaos at bay, the fact is he's the only reason that you're paying taxes, right? And those taxes pay for the murder of babies. So now he doesn't hold you down and hold a gun to your head. So he escapes the feeling of culpability for what he's doing, right? But you know that he's going to come and kick your door down if you don't pay for this thing. So you pay for this thing. He doesn't kick your door down, so he doesn't hold himself morally accountable for what's going on. So I'm like, we've got to stop adoring these people because they're the reason we can't ignore politicians. If politicians were just doing good things, well, maybe okay. But if I'm paying to have babies murdered, right, that's a bad thing. I should be able to say, no, I don't want that thing.
Yeah.
Likewise, people who feel strongly about other things, they shouldn't have to pay for that, right?
And even like you mentioned the Christian element, 35% of people in Palestine are Christian. So yeah.
That reminds me, there's a we could do this actually. There's a PD post that somebody shared. Now, who was it? I'm going to find it now in my upvotes. It's a lady posting from Gaza. I'll have to find it. No, I'll put it in the links at the bottom of the after the
Yep,
conversation.
we'll pop it in the blog section. Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember who shared it, but I don't know if I can find it now. But I'll find it before we're done. And so she's actually posting like first-hand account of here's what it's like, and here's my kids, and we're sort of living in tattered rags and whatever we can sort of manage to eat, and obviously having a really bad time about it. And I don't presume to know who's the good guys and the bad guys on a larger geopolitical framework. But I do know that these are women and children who themselves haven't at any point picked up weapons. So they're definitely not the problem. And they're certainly suffering a lot more than I am. I can just turn off the news and then the whole Gaza thing just goes away. That's not something that she can do. So, yeah, anyway, I'll find it when we're done. So yes, that whole thing is, I think there's a real schism there where people adore these policemen and think that without them there would be chaos, but the actual outworkings of what's going on, they just ignore that, just shut it down. I can't think about that. I don't want to think about it. I want to think about it. I want to think about it. It's like, well, 1% of your wages, might be 2% now, I forget, are taken to pay for Medicare, it pays for abortions, which you and I both believe, other people don't, but you and I both believe is murdering babies. And the only reason that you have to do that is that policemen will attack you if you don't. So you need to understand, this is not me saying, oh, I just want to smoke weed and cops are getting in the way, and I want to steal stuff and cops are getting in the way. There's always been this, as I was growing up, this any criticism of policemen has to be coming from somebody who is a bad person, right?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't adore policemen. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, you can be a good person and a cop, but only because you don't understand the extent of what you're doing and what you're threatening good people with, and what you're saying every time you put on the uniform and go out in public. So
yeah, they're essentially just prison wardens.
Yeah, big open air prison. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Splinterlands.
Yeah. What as actually that's where we went. I've been quite transient lately, moving from like one place to another, getting set up. So I haven't seen a town hall. I haven't even watched the Carson Putin interview yet. Like I'm completely out of the loop with everything. So I was thinking, well, we're recording 101 today, so Matt can fill me in on what's going on in the world of Splinterlands at least.
That's all good. So the Tucker Carlson interview, you can skip the first half hour. That's Russian history. It is interesting if you like Russian history. You might actually enjoy it on that level. But yeah, that's a lot of. And I'm watching this and thinking, I guarantee Putin could sit down and give you a half-hour rendition of US history better than Biden could. And a lot of people are drawing these comparisons. Like,
Biden couldn't go 5 minutes on any subject.
No, it's ridiculous at this point. Yeah, so no, with Splinterlands, I saw the champions over at the People's Guild had an interview with They Call Me Tim, which was really interesting. A bit of backstory on him and how card balancing and all that went. So I listened to that the other day. That was really good. So shout out to B Jangles and Hep. That was a really good episode. I enjoyed that. Thanks, Bob. They Call Me Tim is actually called Bob. Anyway, so yeah, saw that. The only real change I think with Splinterlands, we haven't had a town hall since I saw you last. The only real change that I've noticed is the everybody gets reach rule set. I forget what it's called now.
So they're devaluing my possibilis.
Well, yeah, but possibilis has sort of trained me to make use of that particular possibility. So I've kind of now I'm looking at it and going, hang on, I'm not just limited to water or blue. Not just limited to blue guys anymore. What's it called? Maneuvers, all units gain reach. I'm not just limited to the blue cards anymore. I can use all sorts of other stuff now that I've been, and so yeah, reach is a funny one. I just before we came on, I did had a match and it was Little League, melee only, and Fog of War. So there's not many. I don't think there's any dual attack types that are only 4 or less mana. So we're all just melee, and no one had sneak or opportunity. So it was just about hitting the guy in front of you. And so we both had loaded up on reach, because obviously that's the only real thing you can, you can do or have. So it's interesting to think about reach, and I've been thinking about, guys that are cards that are really strong, heavy hitters, but are too weak, right, to really
Put in the
field up
front.
front. And one of them
Yeah.
of is the Silver Shield Knight. Now gives Inspire, and he has Pierce, right? So he hits relatively hard, but he also makes all your other melee cards hit really hard. And so from the outset, for a long time, like literally 5 years, I've looked at my white deck, the alpha cards. We've got Silver Shield Paladin there. He's great up front. Magic Reflect, he's got Shield. He's just a good, solid, all-round up front tank. And then there's the Silver Shield Knight, really ties in well with him. And if it's melee mayhem, then great, I'll bring it both in. But obviously in melee mayhem, it's tending to meet more thorns and demoralize and the like.
And you got to have
no doubt
defense at the back for sneak as well, because what else you got to
exactly.
do with your melee cards? So
Exactly.
yeah.
So from the outset, I've thought I'd love to have these two just lined up. Have Silver Shield Knight as a second tank. He's all right for health and armor, but he's just not a decent tank. A couple of decent magic hits and he's gone, right? So, whereas Silver Shield Paladin, he is vulnerable to magic, but at least he's returning it, right? He's sending it back. So some of those support cards that don't have much health but do a little bit of magic damage, they can get eaten. They can die from magic effect. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that play. But there's heaps more, like things like Exploding Dwarf, Exploding Rats, right? You've got this capacity now to sit a real like heavy hitting but low health, like just a lunatic, like a berserker card, in second place now.
Jared Scar.
Sorry?
Jared
Jared
Scar.
Scar, absolutely, yeah. Or you could put who's the guy with Grum Flameblade? Grum. Put him behind Magnor, right?
Yeah.
And but Jared Scar and Grum, they've both got Bloodlust, right? So if you start to really build up, right, and Magnor's stopping anyone from targeting anyone but him. So especially Yassic, for example. So imagine Yassic, Magnor, Grum, everybody gets reach. Well, Yassic's also giving Pierce and +2 to speed, so everybody's fast, and every time the Grum kills someone, then he gets faster and stronger and nastier and meaner. By the time Magnor dies, you've got this absolute behemoth in the second spot, setting up in the first and continuing the rampage. So there's a lot of possibilities I think that everybody gets reach rule set. I'd like to have seen a few more, because it's been a long time since we had any sort of new rule sets. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, cool, there's another batch of rule sets. And then I just kept playing and there was only just that one. So hopefully there's more in the works. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
So did you identify any cards that are now going to increase in value because of that rule set?
Yeah, I had a look. It's difficult because most of my thinking gravitates around wild. And when I'm watching guys on YouTube and discussions everywhere, I watched who was it? Did a piece on the best cards for the new Reach rule set. Silence, I think it was. Silence.
Yep, Silence.
I watched a YouTube video of his, and he was going through saying this is good and this is good. No, hang on, he did one on the Ones Out Magic only rule set, and he was talking about the different cards that do offer silence, and because everyone gets void. Sorry, he was talking about the Immortalis standoff in the Ones Out, where Magic's the only thing available. Immortalis is kind of what everybody picks if Earth is available, because he gives everyone void and shatter. So anyone who's got void armor, well, you can't rely on that anymore. So he's going through and looking at all the different Earth cards and saying what's going to be a good option for you. But everything he was talking about was modern cards, and I kept thinking, talk about Oaken Behemoth. It's just a reflex at this point, right? Because he's got reach, he's in second position, and he's doing that melee, right? And I've won so many Ones Out Immortalis battles with Oaken Behemoth. So yeah, he was talking about some stuff, so I'm a bit confused with that. But no, there's been we were chatting in Mabs about it, and a few people were talking about different cards that they like. But That's the one I'm really excited for. Is things like exploding dwarves, things like exploding rats, anything that has, say, Naga Warrior or Stone Splitter Orc, anyone that's got the enrage and retaliate sort of vibe going on, because they less so retaliate because they're not getting targeted. Although that can be if you're hitting a retaliator, they then retaliate, and you get that going on. But anyone who sort of gets enraged, does double hits, that type of thing. Fantastic in second position there in the reach rule set, and even the possibilities for getting a little bit silly and you could put a weapons trainer. Are there melee weapons trainer? Yeah, there are. Yeah, there's brain fog for a second there. So you could put a melee weapons trainer in third spot and put a cube in second spot. So you get a cube attacking from second position as a melee card. Just for fun, I guess.
Yeah.
But things like failed summoner, corrupted Pegasus, corrupted Pelicorp Conjurer in second position. Right, they've all then got the capacity to reach attack from there if you give them a melee attack. So yeah, it's good. I think it does tie in with the new what's the new ability called, where the hippopotamus does it without any attack, where it gives the guy in second position reach. So it feels like between that rule set and that new ability, we're kind of trying to mix it up a little bit with the whole meta of what goes on at the front.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what direction they're taking with all that. But yeah, so that was my, yes, I'm excited about all that, but it would have been nice to get a couple of new rule sets at the same time, because I think there's a lot of creativity that goes into taking 2 or 3 new rule sets all at the same time and quickly adapting and adjusting your technique to it, right? So the meta can absorb a new rule set and slowly just sort of engulf it. But if you hit us with 3 all at once, then there's a lot of people scrambling. The timer's running out, the drama's there, because I know how to play these 2 rule sets, and I know how to play this rule set, but these 2 are new, and I don't know how they're going to work out together, and what should I pick, and what's the other guy going to pick? And the timer's clicking down, and that's where the drama is, as opposed to most of the time now, I'll look at the rule sets and I go, I got a fairly good idea of where I'm going to go, and I'll just punch it in, and then I'll set it off, and it's still got a minute and a half left on the timer because I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm going to win. Well, I know what team I'm going to put in, and
yeah.
so I think if you like with this new reach rule set, a lot of the time I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool, and it's stretching me, and maybe I've only got 30 seconds left on the timer at the end. It'd be good to have 3 new rule sets all rock up at once, and you're like, crap. I got nothing. What am I doing here? Right.
Yeah.
A bit more, I think, edge of your pants if we get that. So,
well, I don't need 3 new rule sets to be in that state. I was gonna, magic only, odds, and thorns. And it's like, it's like, what do you do? Yeah.
I got a everybody gets reach at a no melee in the same battle. So that's one of those that probably shouldn't come up. No melee, there's no point in having reach. Yes, I'm sure they'll strike that off the list of, they'll add it to the list of incompatible rule sets so they don't come up together. But so I don't know. I've had all sorts of ideas for rule sets over the years, and some of them I've suggested through, but I've yet to see one of mine make it in. I thought what would be a really cool rule set, and I did mention this to Yabba once, and I think he said it'd be a lot more coding, was that if a rule set where if a card is killed, but it still has armor left, but it does to magic attacks and still has armor, that armor stays in that slot and is added to
the next card that comes up.
Slides in there, yeah. So you might have a magic team, and you're killing their opponents, right? Bam, 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 and they're all dropping like flies. But their last card has void armor, and by the time he gets there, all of the armor from all of his colleagues, all of his allies, is just sat there, and there's like 12 armor. And he slides into first position, And now he's got void armor and he's got 12 armor, and it's helping him. It didn't help his allies because they didn't have void armor.
Void armor.
But now, he becomes a real problem for you because, and so the idea was like, obviously shatter would matter then. So it could be a rule set, or it could be an ability or something. The other one I was thinking is where magic attacks do double damage to magic attackers. So you've then got to decide, okay, it's kind of like a brinksmanship type thing. If I bring in a magic dealer, they're going to be extra vulnerable themselves to magic damage. But if they're hitting, if the other guy brings in a magic guy and I hit him, then I'm going to do double damage to him. So it's like this, like, sort of a do we, don't we, Ross and Rachel, will they, won't they, right? Sort of sort of an arrangement.
That's going to be devastating in like Little League. Like if you had a Little League and that, like the battle would be over pretty quick.
Well, I mean, you look at, there might be somebody who goes, okay, it's Little League, and I'm going to put in a magic guy right in the back, right? He's not going to get attacked by magic guys in the last position, but he might. Shinlo, for example, right? You're Shinlo or Goblin Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Right. So if you come up with that rule set, you might think, okay, somebody's going to put a magic guy right at the back, so he's not going to get targeted. But I've got a card that does magic sneak. Just in case, I'm going to put him there, and I'm going to put him in the middle somewhere. But you might not notice that he's your lowest health card, and they've got an opportunist.
Boom.
Doing magic damage, and boom. Right. So it's that whole, like, am I going to engage in magic? Like, that's the rule set. Am I going to wade in and try and risk my cards by engaging in bringing in magic cards, or am I just going to go, no, I'm not interested and whatever? But if I do that, and so it's that whole, what's the other guy going to do? Which I think is
the other half of the equation. Sometimes we don't even think about.
Sorry?
The other half of the equation that sometimes we don't even think about when we're picking our team. I mean, you can go all in on what you want to do, and everything that you do as a counter to what they might do, if they don't do, just decimates your team.
Yeah. And it is fun. I've taken more to looking at the lineup of my opponent, and rather than thinking about, okay, what's going to happen in this match, how we make a prediction beforehand.
Yeah.
I've taken to looking at the lineup and thinking, what did he think I was going to play? Looking at what he's done, and he might have a lot of shatter, right? Yeah. And I've brought in like a life team with an earth team with heaps of health points, but very little armor spread around. Yeah. And he's got like triple shatter and he's got rust and all of that. And it's like, he thought I was going to go a life heavy team. He thought I was going to have 4 or 5 armor on everyone with void armor and all the like. And all I've done is I've just had a whole heap of health and lots of healing and cleanse and the like. So that's been a fun thing to look at. And sometimes they'll beat you anyway. You're like, come on, man, you were completely wrong about what I was going to play, but you still beat me. That's not.
Yeah. Alrighty, Gio, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are we?
Yeah, pretty good. Actually, you haven't missed out on much Splinterlands stuff. We got right down this Anarchy tangent, and
cool.
We talked for a while, and we just did a little bit of talk about the new maneuvers rule set with Reach and the possibilities that involves. And I guess we're at the point now we're ready to do some battling. But before I can battle, I have something I need to do. Let me have a look. Alrighty. We are going to share my screen. And I have 20 chests open.
Hey.
And then we will battle. Yeah. I have no little boxes with your faces. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the right of me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know why I don't have any faces. Let's have a look at my focus chests. I got one pack I've been saving up my potions for you, Matt. So now I'm only opening packs on my alt accounts. So I had enough potions to open one pack, and in one pack I got 2 legendary cards: a Carnage Titan and a Quicks.
Nice.
Can't go wrong, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a good place to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Quora, so I need two more Quoras, and I've got immunity.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, I got a Cora in my last Gladius as well. So I think I need like 4 or 5 more, maybe 4 more for level 4 with my Cora. Well, not a lot of cards there. We got 1 card out of 20 chests.
That's how mine. Yeah, that's how mine looked the other day. It was just potions and SPS, little chunks.
Yeah. And not even 2 of, literally just 1 of 1 card.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the Cora situation while we're here.
Oh, don't rub it in.
No, I'm just
Don't
like,
rub it in.
I'm just curious because.
I know.
So 6. I need 6 more. So it's not happening
Okay.
anytime soon. Yeah. So what's new with you, Gio? Still buying up rebellion packs? Building
Yeah,
up your odds?
I bought a few last night, but I didn't really get anything that special. But it's cool. I'm slowly combining for the bronze accounts.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not spending too much. Like every month I buy a few packs. You know,
Yeah.
I'm doing my part. You know, that's what I consider doing my
Yeah.
part. No, outside of that, I mean, inside the game, I haven't been doing much at all, man. I've just been letting automation just take over. I've just been checking rewards, claiming land. I mean, there's really not much to it here. Hey, like it's like outside of outside of this, yeah, there's not really much that I do in the game.
I mentioned to Bob a minute ago about claiming harvesting land in peak monsters, and he wasn't aware that you could do that. Have you been doing that, Gio, or have you been going on Splinterlands?
I've been using peak monsters if I want
Yeah.
like a fast way of, you know, if I'm on peak I'll do it. But if I'm on the
Yeah.
game and I'm like, I don't wanna alt tab to this other, you know, I'll just
Oh, it's so
slowly.
hard. Alt tab. Oh my God.
I don't want to alt tab. No, because I'm already there. It
Yeah.
literally takes a few seconds, if that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really not that bad. I mean, either, right? Like,
Yeah, I generally do it on peak monsters because I've got
oh, you
plots
got
in region
heaps.
36 and 37.
Yeah,
It's so much quicker. What's really
yeah, it
funny
is.
is I have Splinterlands.com open on my laptop as well in the same browser, just a different tab.
Yeah.
And I'll go and claim on peak monsters, and then I'll go back to Splinterlands, and instead of my battle results, I've got here's what you harvested. So it picks up that a harvest has happened and pops that up.
Yes, on the actual SPL page, yeah. Uh,
So,
the the way I see it, it's like mostly everything's nearly automated. So that little time that I spend, you know, I don't mind if I have to spend a little bit extra time on just SPL. But I do it. I do it. It depends it's all on the feeling. It's the
yeah.
feels, man. It's just, you know, it's the time of the day.
Have you got yourself a totem fragment yet?
Nah, bro, haven't got any. Here you are, 2 already, with less plots and everything.
Yeah, I've only got half as many flots as you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ah, well. I mean, you still
I
need
got
4 to really combine anyway, so.
yeah.
I got two epic fragments, 1 rare and 6 commons. So, but I've still got like 500 plus common totems that I'm not even using at the moment. So, you know, because I just don't have the cards or the DEC to put onto all of those land plots. So those common
Yeah.
totems are just sitting there. So that takes the edge off the excitement of winning a portion of 1 common totem. 500. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, it
All right.
would.
So you got anything to add to the show, Gio, or you want to like start
Well,
battling, or?
really, I mean, you know what? I'm still liking that potential change that's coming up. About them being no level caps, only to summon a cap, I believe.
Mhm.
I mean, there's been crying about the tournament changes and how the old school, the OGs don't want to let alpha rewards go, like because I mean they've already like the actual price hike of the cards themselves, especially at one point. I just say we need to shift rewards to to incentivize the newer players to get into the new packs as well. At least share it, divide it equally, man. Yeah, I just think a lot of people have a stick up their ass. Personally, that's what I think. Yeah, like
I haven't followed it closely, so I don't really, I don't really have a horse in the race. I mean, obviously I'm alpha heavy, but they're all, yeah, I don't know. To me, I can see both sides. I think the guys who originally bought alpha, definitely have been reimbursed many times over. But the guys who bought alpha cards 6 months ago, and because they're going to, be worth a lot in tournaments, and because they're going to be valuable to guilds and able to play alpha brawls and the like, I think those people would suffer quite a lot from, a reduction in those. If they were soul bound, say, yeah, sure, guys have been around from the start, they've still got the same original alpha cards. So be it, they've been well rewarded, particularly with their extra capacity on land. But yeah, my feeling is for guys who saw the alpha cards were really well rewarded disproportionately, and they went, look, I'm going to put a big investment into this game. I'm going to move it into alpha cards, and they're going to stay there, and they're going to get tournament earnings and all of this. And then it's like, oh, by the way, we're not doing that anymore. And so my thinking is, and it's the same whenever you change any rule. People who recently made a decision based on what it was, they're the ones who are probably going to suffer more. So I don't like the salt that we've had going on in Mavs has been.
Same. I mean, I haven't read it, but I skimmed through and saw people were getting banned, people were getting silenced, people acting nasty to one another. You know what? If you want to say who's literally put the most money in and who's been exit liquidity for some of the older guys who have left, it's the Chaos Legion era. Huh? But you don't hear them complaining as much. You know? Yeah.
Well, you see them dumping their packs on tribal decks. That's what you see.
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched too much Tucker Carlson lately.
Oh,
no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't seen much.
86 cents for Chaos Legion right now for those following along at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. $4 a pack when all the other packs before it were $2, as well, right? And with the influx of, the cards, right? Chaos Legion's been devalued to, a lot, right? They're useful, don't get me wrong. They're very useful, but I mean, who's really got a heel to stand on to complain? I mean, it's those guys who came in 2021 in the hype, right? Of everything.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Because I got caught there because I had a lot of no coiners come through and say, "Oh, Matt, what's the thing to buy?" And I said, "Well, look, Chaos Legion packs. Just grab those and sit on them for a few years." Because time after time, actually playing, you can rely on the player base continues to swell. There's more packs in every edition than the previous one, and all of these things. But ultimately, I think what Matt pointed out is the case where people have been buying packs that they don't necessarily want to speculate on down the track. But because it was such a safe bet, Alpha, hang on for 2 years and you've made your money. Beta, hang on for 2 years and you've made your money. Untamed, and then Chaos Legion comes along and we're like, well, this is a safe bet. I'm going to, Now the buyers just aren't there because the game hasn't continued to grow at the kind of pace that it needed.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about patience because these are still viable tokens in a crypto game, and I'm buying them as soon as I can, but as often as I can, because they're double the PP of Rebellion.
Exactly.
And they're 85 cents instead of $4 or whatever. So the no-brainer for me, and that's where some people are saying, oh, the DAO needs to spend some DEC and buy up all these Chaos Legion packs, at least keep the price over $1.50 or something like that. On they're all gone. But I'm like, why distort the market like that?
I don't like
there should be a lot of guys in my position who are just
Yeah.
primarily focused on Chaos Legion. It's funny
Yeah.
when you're talking about automation. I'm thinking
Yeah.
I would love to automate. As soon as I have enough vouchers, dump them and buy a Chaos Legion pack. Just have that running in the background. I don't have to think about it, do whatever. Instead of going, we've got to do this, and then I'll swap here and there.
Yeah.
Like, no, just automate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a good idea and I lost it. I had something I was going to say. I just completely left my mind. No, but you know what? Competitively speaking, Chaos Legion's been awesome. Like it's actually been one of the strongest sets, especially, it just has. It's just been great. I can still get the Diamond Champion, if I wanted to, but it's still very competitively. Like it's a very competitive, set. So I love it, but yeah, like you're right. There's still the salt is real, and sometimes you just after a while you just got to hand the torch over for the benefit of others in the game and for the future progression of the game. For example, like the DAO funds, instead of buying chaos packs, how about let's get the game really up and running? Yeah, let's modernize it. Let's do things. Let's use it right. Let's use it correctly.
Well, the low price Chaos Legion packs are also an opportunity for someone who arrives today, right? He arrives today and he goes, look, I can only afford 20 Rebellion packs. I got $100. I'm going to do 20 Rebellion packs. Oh, hang on. Oh, look over here. I got $100. I can buy 100 Chaos Legion packs.
Exactly.
They're still viable in Modern, and when the time comes, I'll just switch to Wild. But that's still,
Yeah.
a year and a half away.
It is.
Let's just do that. Let's just do that instead. And so it's an entryway for new people. The next 10,000 people who enter the game will be able to buy cheap Chaos Legion packs, and then that's gone. That's gone away at that point. So in a way, this is a fertile ground that people who arrived 2 years ago and went, oh, I wish I was one of the early adopters. It's like, well, this is a chance. This is your opportunity to buy sub $1 Chaos Legion packs.
Even below. Yeah,
you can buy for $31 right now. $31 you can buy a plot, and for another $1 you can buy a Chaos Legion pack and fill those 5 slots there. Right,
100%.
Not much, but it's a foothold in the land for $32.
Yeah,
a Chaos Legion pack's not going to. Oh, one plot. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and you need a power field, so there's another $5. But yeah, so under $40, you could get a plot up and running and actually producing. Where you probably want grain, but it's a toehold into land for less than $40. And I think when the floor on land moves up, as it inevitably will, and more people arrive, someone will watch the recording of this and go, "What? Hang on, land is a minimum of $400." And what you're saying, and the cards I need. And but the PP of those Chaos Legion is, and so and I've seen this cycle happen so many times. The salt, then new people arrive, and then it's like, oh no, it's too expensive now, and there's nothing to buy, and it's such a cycle. It's almost boring at this point, like how
Predictable.
practical it is, right? And everyone's excited, and everyone's sad, and everyone's excited, and everyone's sad. It's just like, just take a seat, just make smart decision after smart decision, and watch your account grow. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've just been on this. I haven't really been following much, so I've been chilling, man. I've been playing other games with Mick Knight, from Hive Australia. Man, we've been playing PUBG. It's been fun. It's been good. Over the headset, just harassing each other, calling. It's great.
So what's
why
PUBG?
didn't you do this? Oh, you ran me over. It's so you fall. Look, I'm just gonna try to explain it as easily as possible. You fall from a plane and you got to quickly loot up with guns and whatever else, and then you all shoot each other until the circle closes in, and then the last 2 squads or teams, depending on what you're playing, have to fight it out, and whoever wins and is alive in the end, that's it. Winner, chicken dinner.
And that's on the blockchain?
Like Fortnite.
Oh no, yeah. It's like Fortnite. No, it's definitely not a blockchain. It's free to play though. So
Yeah.
I've been playing non-blockchain games at the moment, Metro Exodus, really cool. It's from the Metro series, the Metro 19. It's a Russian-Ukrainian book that was made, I don't know, I think in the 70s or something, and they've turned that into like series and games like Stalker, Metro, and other inspired post-apocalyptic mutant sort of radiation nuclear, yeah, it's good. It's good. I love that shit. How about you guys? What have you been doing for entertainment
Me, very
or
little.
games or whatever?
I've been doing like 5 hours a day on Cambly.
Cool.
Just get myself established here in Mexico. So
You look like you've seen a lot of sun.
yeah, yeah, I've got pretty
Uh,
red at the moment. Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Been hanging out with Kurt. We've been had a couple of meals and looking around. I'm moving tomorrow because I'm still in the original Airbnb basic room. So moving tomorrow to some place for 1 week because the place I want to go to isn't available till the 19th. So move tomorrow morning, 1 week somewhere, and then I move into the house that I'll be in for 6 months. So
sweet.
yeah, recovering from my
Travels.
overblown budget to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've got to yeah. I didn't want to like just race here and then like Peru I had to go to again, and then Colombia, the opportunity to stay 2 weeks in Colombia with Eco. And
Awesome.
yeah, and when you are somewhere, you spend money, so you got to expect that. So now I just need to head down for a couple of months and just.
Well, you know what, man? If you were here doing that, you would have lost your money in 1 day, 2 days. You would have had fun for a day or two, and that's it. The fun's over, man. Go back to work and grind it out like a slave.
It's one thing I've noticed, like, because the cost of living is generally like I go this place across the road here, literally 5 minutes walk for lunch every day, and it's $6 for lunch, right? So the cost of living is way cheaper. But I've noticed in Peru, Colombia, and here, one thing that's consistent: you go to an actual coffee shop and get like a long black, for the Australians, cafe americano for the rest of the world. You're going to be paying $4 for a cup of coffee.
That's a lot.
So same as Australia, like it's like a universal standard. Someone's controlling the coffee market. Like this is how much a coffee is going to cost you no matter where you are in the world.
Okay.
Everything else is dirt cheap, like cost of, but yeah, an actual proper like machine-made cup of coffee is going to cost you $4 equivalent no matter where you are.
That means you just have to get your own on Amazon when you're more established in a place. Yeah, cheap machine even doesn't matter. Makes beautiful long blacks. You've got the beans there. You can outsource locally. Boom. There's no more $4 bullshit coffees. Fuck that.
It is nice though in the morning, just walk down the coffee shop, get a coffee and have
But you don't want to be paying Australian prices,
Yeah, but it's just strange that seems to be a universal standard, $4 no matter where you are. Yeah.
I think the weed juice sounds fun.
The what?
The weed juice, the THC, CBD, marijuana juice you're talking about. What's that? If that's less than $4,
So it's kombucha, but it's got THC. It's what they call full spectrum, because some drinks just have CBD, varying degrees for illnesses, injuries, inflammation, whatever you think. You just get the CBD, and then they have full spectrum, which is the CBD and the THC. So yeah, just kind of drink kombucha flavor with THC and CBD. So it costs like $12 equivalent for a drink. So that's not something you smash constantly, but the fact that I could walk into a shop and buy it, I had to try it. Like
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even all the condiments that you've shown me, throughout, like just like all the gummies, all the everything, dispensary sort of level stuff. It's like, that is cool. That is awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy that you can't do that everywhere.
Yeah.
So should we battle?
Yeah, I was going to say we've got just over 10 minutes left, so let's get in a battle each. You two want to go first?
Yeah, we had a good chat. So
You
Even
want to
though I
send me a
can
challenge?
lay.
Review?
Yes, I will send you a challenge.
I'm saying earlier about the reach rule set and how excited I am about a few different cards that I can sort of make use of now with the reach rule set. I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't really used. I haven't myself played that physically yet. Like without automation. Should I add?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it'd be exciting to like in a brawl or something. Do you have them in brawls? I think so. Yeah,
yeah, they will.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would
yeah.
be fun. Imagine that, just like some big heavy hitters front and back that don't have
We,
reach usually.
yeah, even like exploding dwarf, exploding rats, some of those really volatile, fast,
Mm.
heavy hitters. A lot of opportunity there. Say Yasik, Magnor, exploding rat. Right?
Oh, yeah, GG.
You got Pierce going on.
I've sent a challenge.
Hit view, but it appears there's a delay processing this. Here we go. I think we're on. Now back to the title screen. Here's the challenge view.
Okay,
8 minutes left.
you can send me one if there's complications.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. I think it's just waking
Ah,
up. Okay, so we've got
came through.
46 mana, all elements available, but no legendaries. We've got Holy Protection, so everyone's got Divine Shield, and Weak Magic.
Okay,
46 that's a decent amount of mana.
it is. Aye, aye, it is. Okay. Oh no, legendaries. Don't. Oh no. What will I do? What will I ever do? Um, man, mana goes so quick. Like before you know it, you're choosing a few things, and it's like, oh, you're capped out now.
If
You
you're
know?
using some big cards, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, legend. I'm angry. All right, all right.
I've been seeing some interesting names coming up um, on the battle screen lately. There's Before Sound,
Oh, that's funny.
Level Up,
Before sound.
yep,
That is so dumb.
Level Up Wife.
Oh, that's great.
Ah,
A lot of
oh,
crypto bros talk about wife changing money,
uh,
which I think is hilarious.
Manga
level
Mayhem,
Manga
manga,
Mayhem.
manga, like Japanese
Oh yeah.
anime, yeah.
manga. Yeah.
Bully Dog.
Are you
And what?
serious?
Yeah, also, what was the other one? Actually, they were so funny. Wrote them down. Have a look.
All right, here we go.
Okay, I'll watch this instead. But yeah, some funny names coming up.
You've doubled up on the gladiators, Geo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. See if that does me good. I am. I think you're gonna hit heavy with Grund, especially. I was thinking about Grund as well, but I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. You might have this. And I'm not trying to be diplomatic. I just think we've gone with similar things. So, I guess it depends who
Yeah,
wipes who out.
Forcefield's going to suck more for me than for you because my main hitter is Mythica Headhunter, and that's going to get reduced down to 1. Whereas you're hitting a lot more frequently with less. So I'm going to give it to you. I think you'll choose through my slip spawn a lot quicker than I'll do yours.
We'll see.
And that's going to leave me vulnerable. Mythica Headhunter will go down to your what's her face, Control Gobson. I think I'm going to get wrecked. Let's watch it and play, but I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, let's do it because we're on 8 minutes. I think 9. Okay, I can see this going either. I think we've
Yeah,
gone with sort of similar things.
Yeah.
So
if I was attacking your Quora a little bit heavier, I would be more confident. But
Well, you're attacking it for 10 with Grund.
yeah, but she
Oh,
heals herself, and Goblin Psychic will heal her as well.
yeah.
So I mean, I would need to have a sustainable, long-term. I'd have to hit her longer, harder than that. And look at that, slip spawn's just gone. See, because he's got smaller amounts of damage hitting me more frequently, and I'm just, my main damage dealer is that Medica Headhunter, which he's correctly, guessed I'm going to do one big heavy hitter. And so the force field just drags that right down.
Yeah.
It's it is okay. It's sort of something of a Pyrrhic victory, in that I think that's the wrong word. I've correctly guessed exactly how the game was going to play out, but that was me losing. So
We
yeah.
went real similar, man.
Yeah, but it made a big difference. The fact that I think you anticipated I'd play slip spawn, and I didn't think that.
I didn't.
coming from
I
you,
I just think about myself. I'm too selfish to think about what you're gonna do. But
I'll lick my wounds.
how about I want Bob to play. Am I sending you one? Do you want to send Matt one? How do you want to do it?
Someone send me a challenge.
Matt, because you lost, you can send him a challenge. I'm quite happy to
Yeah.
sit on the throne here. I'm quite happy.
Yeah, fair enough. Log effect. Gladiator cards. Send. If you wreck me with Quora, I'm going to cry. I'm literally cry on stream. So I don't know if you want that for your show. Okay, we got 32 mana. Everything's available except fire. It is Melee Mayhem, Noxious Fumes, and Fog of War.
And our teams were very similar. Crazy.
All right, so I've put something together. Here's a little something I prepared earlier.
He's a little
Oh, here we go. Of course, Llama Cube with his cleanse. Yeah.
Oh no. I like to see AE being used though. It's nice.
Well, I just
Oh.
figured things are going to die. So when it's some scavenge and some resurrect.
I feel like mine and Matt's matchups or rule sets will, a lot more lenient.
I think I got this one, Bob, because I'm
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
resurrect
Cube.
my Martyr.
Yeah.
I think Cube's going to be unassailably strong.
Yeah. Cube is going to be undefeatable. Twice martyred with healing, scavenge, immunity from Llama. Yeah, I don't see.
It'll be triple martyred, because that fella up front there's going to get resurrected.
Twice.
Yeah, I don't see
once.
any way that I'm winning this.
So the joy of the martyr cards is that they already benefit the cube by scavenge when they die, as well as then the martyr benefit. So every time that happens, the cube actually gets more benefit than other cards that are enjoying the benefit of martyr.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's even got clans.
Yeah, from
Oh
Llama.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, damn. So
You,
even if
you
you
burnt,
were to, the
burnt your
stun's not gonna
resurrection.
work.
Not for long, no.
No.
Stun can work though because the well, it depends on no, it's all right. I'm thinking of something else.
So he's up to 21 health now, fully healed.
Yeah. My main concern was that you were going to go melee heavy. That's why I brought the that guy that just got hit by poison, for the demoralized, just to reduce your incoming melee.
Oh
Yeah.
But yeah,
no.
And he's going to get last stand as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
the kid's going to be
Yeah.
nuts. I think when we get there, we'll maybe just fast forward to the end because it's you know
It's grueling.
it is grueling. We don't want to watch another 16 rounds of this. Well, I mean, I do. I'll watch it later on.
It's not going to be 16 rounds. This is going to be over real quick.
Upload to Pornhub, you know.
There
You've
we go. Last
got
stand.
you've got immunity there though, so
Look at
you know,
42
you're
health. I mean,
Whoa.
he's healing for more than I can actually damage him every round.
yeah.
42 health. This is just.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's that cleanse that strips away the stun. I'm not saying you would have won with it, but that changes everything, you know?
Yeah. All right. So this is going to go to fatigue now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fog of war, especially as well with the obnoxious fumes, that just screamed to me llama feud because you can control so much more of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like if you had a scatter shot, you might have been able to take out some stuff in the back row,
Yeah.
but otherwise, it's pretty much, you know, the game's going to play out how I've decided it's going to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know which card you're going to attack in what order. So.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's not enough time for me to beat Geo in a battle. We're almost out of time on the Zoom clock. So you're lucky there, Geo. Don't have time to send you a challenge. So thank you for joining us on episode 110. Next episode will be 111, 101, 111. We look forward to seeing you then. If you'd like to join us on the show, hit me up on Discord or drop a message below. I'm Boba Fett. Peace out.